being that it is the hour of 6 PM on Monday, June 20th, 2022, I will call to order the regular meeting of the Planning Commission of the City of Ceres. Notice that this meeting will be held in accordance with California Government Code Section 59453, Subdivision E of the Ralph M. Brown Act, California Government Code Section 54950 et seq, Series Resolution Number 2022-48, and the Federal Americans with Disability Act. While this meeting will be physically open to the public, given the state of emergency regarding the threat of COVID-19, members of the public may also participate and comment via the application Zoom. Remote public comment is also available for the Planning Commission meeting by emailing planning@ci.ceres.ca.us by 5 PM on the date of the meeting. Include the agenda item number or public comment period in the subject line of the email. The clerk may read written comments into the record if specifically requested to do so at the beginning of your email. Your written comment will be distributed to the Planning Commission and kept on file as part of the official record of the Planning Commission meeting. All right, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, please note that Commissioner Johnson is excused this evening. So we have Commissioner Del Nero,
Present.
Commissioner Catchell,
Here.
Commissioner Martinez,
Present.
and Chairperson Smith.
Here. All right, are there any conflicts of interest to declare? Seeing none, we'll move on to citizen communications to the commission on matters not included on the agenda. While the Planning Commission welcomes and encourages participation in the Planning Commission meetings, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission and not on the posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the Planning Commission from taking action on any matter that is not on the posted agenda unless it is determined to be an emergency by the Planning Commission. Citizens are entitled to address the Planning Commission on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on a matter not on the agenda? Good evening, Mr. Pratt.
Dave Pratt of Ceres. I've been amiss for a long time. I think in the future that you reject any tree planting on corners and overhanging sidewalks. A lot of times you can't see the road, street signs or stop sign. And I get tired of getting slapped in the face by trees hanging over the sidewalk, and probably other people too. The city doesn't, business don't, homeowners don't, and even Caltrans don't clean away the trees, bushes away from the road sign and street sign and overhanging where people have to walk even the handicap. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pratt. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak on any matter not on the agenda? All right, seeing none. Public comments will now be accepted through Zoom. For those participating through the web, please raise your hand to request to speak using the hand icon located on the bottom right of your screen. If you are participating by phone, please press *9 on your phone. Names will be called in the order the requests are received, and your microphone will be unmuted when it's your time to speak. Is there anyone on Zoom?
I see no hands raised at this time.
Thank you. Have we received any public comments through email?
No, I have not received any.
All right, thank you so much. We'll now move on to the consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the consent calendar?
Yes, item 1, clerk's report of posting. The agenda for the regular meeting of the Planning Commission of June 20th, 2022 was posted on June 14th, 2022.
Thank you. Do I have a motion? I have a motion, and do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Catchell.
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez. Commissioner Del Nero.
Aye.
And Chairperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Thank you. No items were removed from consent, so we'll move to public hearings. Item 2, vesting tentative parcel map 22-05 and conditional use permit 22-06. A proposal to develop 3.3 acres involving the creation of 3 commercial zoned lots out of 2 existing parcels and to permit the development of 5 commercial buildings with associated parking and landscape improvements located at the northeast corner of Mitchell and Roding Road. Surjit Singh is the applicant. Mr. Michaels, do we have a staff
Thank you very
report?
much, Madam Chair. So what you have here tonight is, if you could pull up page 55, the staff report with the agenda. Thank you. Mr. Holm. And so what you see here, we do indeed have a vesting tenant parcel map and a conditional use permit entitlement for a proposal to develop this site. It's a 3.3 acre site involving the creation of 3 commercial zone lots out of the 2 existing parcels that are there, and to facilitate the development of a new commercial center located here. Again, it's at the northeast corner of Mitchell Road and Roding Road. The proposed parcel sizes and the physical improvements of the project include parcel 1 being 0.44 acres in size, reserved for the future development of a 2,800 square foot building to accommodate restaurant use with a drive-through operation and 10 parking spaces with a landscape area. Proposed parcel 2 would be 0.42 acres in size, reserved for the future development of another 2,800 square foot building to accommodate a restaurant use and a drive-through operation and 10 parking spaces with landscape areas. And the third parcel will be 2.44 acres in size, reserved for 2 retail commercial buildings at 8,500 square feet and 9,600 square feet in size. And then a third one at 8,557 square foot building. And that one would accommodate a 5,557 square foot restaurant and a 3,000 square foot retail space. Also on parcel 3, you're going to have a storm drain basin that will serve the entire site for storm drainage, and there'll also be 137 uncovered parking spaces as well. And then finally, there will be landscaping provided along the entire perimeter and frontage areas of the site. The 2 remaining future pads that you might see on the far west end of the property, those would be considered at a later date when the applicant will come back. Generally, both of those pads are 2,800 square foot each, and those will require separate entitlements when they come back to the commission. In general, staff supports the overall proposal. It promotes a good development of 2 underutilized parcels. And we believe that the commercial uses that will come through here will be complementary to the surrounding area and serve the future needs of the Ceres residents. Mr. Holm, if you would page 62. There you go. Thank you. And so here's a rendering that is provided by the applicant to kind of show what the project is going to look like once it's complete, at least for that first phase. Vehicle access to the project site will be provided by access points from Roding Road and Mitchell Road, which will lead to the project parking area. Again, it's 157 parking spaces. The project as designed meets the city's parking ratios, 1 per 3 seats for proposed restaurants and 1 space per 250 square feet for the remaining future commercial uses. Additionally, the property frontage areas along Mitchell Road and Roding Road are already built to their ultimate right-of-way width. The applicant's proposed design and overall site layout of the product already incorporates appropriate design measures to accommodate traffic flow going in and out of the site. And so the design of the project has addressed any concerns with respect to traffic that may result from this project. Mr. Holm, could you put up page 64? And so that to give you an idea what the buildings are going to look like, this is a rendering. It's probably on page 60 of the staff report. Here, basically, it's a good example of what they're going to look like. This is a multi-plane pitched roof features. Building frontage is designed for variable heights from 21 to 28 feet. All 3 buildings will include some kind of combination of a gray stucco finish. They'll integrate with the horizontal wood panels and perforated rain screen panels and storefront windows systems. Staff is of the opinion that the design of these buildings incorporate attractive, high-quality design features that are readily visible to the public, and therefore staff can support the architectural design of these buildings. With that said, staff has no objections to the applicant's proposal. There is, after the staff report went out, the staff did have some discussion with the applicant. There's two conditions that will need some modification, and the applicant could probably elaborate on that, but I can also assist.
Are you going to tell us what they are?
Yes, basically what we have here is condition B4 on page 31 of the staff report. It has to do with a separate building, part of the building permit process. It's a collection of certain fees. One that would be the fee that would be eliminated would be the Mitchell Road Storm Drain Benefit District fee.
I'm sorry,
That's a
what page?
condition that's on page 31 of the staff report. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Item 4.
There, yeah, right there. So that fee would not be applicable in this case because they're already providing a storm drain basin. That's itself is going to serve that entire site. So come time for building permit issuance for those buildings, they won't need to pay that fee. So
Is
that,
action required during the consideration to eliminate that condition? Or is it understood that since it's not applicable, it won't be charged?
that it would be at the discretion of the commission. I will personally inform the building technician. If the commission does not desire to change that condition, I will be responsible for making sure that they don't have to pay that fee. You do have the option to go ahead and strike that
Okay.
part of it.
All right.
Okay. And then the on page 33, condition B13, item I, has to do with the typical undergrounding of overhead utility overhead utility lines that we might have along certain project frontages. This one, we typically would have a condition of this nature in there, but with this, it was overlooked by our engineering staff. So before the meeting tonight, actually it was the previous week, met with our staff member after it was brought to my attention by the GDR engineering firm, the applicant's representative, that because of the ultimate right-of-way width that's already there, it's already improved. There's be no need for the undergrounding of those utility lines because it's already improved to the ultimate right-of-way width there, and it has curb gutter sidewalk improvements. The project is not expected to remove those utility poles that are there. It's designed around that. And so staff believes that there's no need to have this condition in there in this case.
Well, let me make sure I understand that. So the undergrounding of the utilities was related to extending the right of way,
Right,
and that has already been done.
correct.
So the undergrounding is not
Correct.
required. And
Right.
there are utility poles on this property that exist, not required. at this-
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
this
correct.
should be removed
That should be removed.
if
Yeah,
the commission.
if the commission
determines.
feels that. Yeah, correct. That's it.
All right, does anybody have any questions of James? Mr. Ketchel?
Yeah. Looking at the rendering of the entire property, looks very nice. It's attractive facility. And can't help but notice looking at the landscaping, the world that we're in these days, driving up and down my street and see all the green on there. And I don't see any green on my street anymore, including in my front yard. And I'm not sure where we're going in the future. Is this lawn going to be put in there or it's artificial landscaping turf?
Excellent question. No, there's no turf. It's just the trees and shrubs and mulch. There won't be any actual lawn like grass or
Okay,
anything.
so it won't be green there.
Correct. That's just right. That's just the rendering that was put together to give some scale.
I just looking outside in the parking lot, you just put down new park and looks real nice. Want to make sure there's
Yeah.
something going on other than,
Correct. Yeah,
Ground.
it's mostly trees, and shrubs. Yeah.
okay.
Good question. Anybody else have any questions? All right, seeing no more questions of staff, I'll open the public hearing. Anyone in the audience, the applicant, representative? Good evening, Mr. Garcia. Good to see you.
Thank you. Max Garcia with GDR Engineering here in Ceres. Glad to be here today. It's been a while. I'm very happy with what we've got to show you. It's going to be an excellent center. Took a lot and got an excellent owner here, Mr. Singh, who wants to build something really nice here in Ceres. And we've got Edmund Jacobs, the building designer, here tonight to answer any building related questions. So don't throw those at me because I'm not a building guy. So I just know it looks good. He can get into details. I think you've made James kind of do most of my heavy lifting with those two conditions that we're going to talk about, but I'll still maybe talk a little bit about them. The drainage, I would have preferred connecting onto a city drainage system if there was one available to us. There isn't one available, and the land isn't within an area that's been designated for a base, city base. We had to contain our own on-site water. So we created our own basin, which is a perk basin. On our part to do some groundwater recharge, I guess. But they'll handle all the water, so we won't be connecting on to the benefit district or any pipeline thing that the city had in their storm drain system. And if it had been available to us, that would have been our preference. The other item was on the overhead. Had a chance, I'm sorry. We had a chance to go by there down Mitchell Road, but you know, there's those improvements in it, curbs, gutters, sidewalk, the poles, nobody's underground. Poles are into concrete, whatever. We've got small frontages. I mean, we've got 340 feet on Mitchell, only 146 feet on Roding. So to underground something like that, we've got one pole on each street. We'd have to install 2 poles. If it was underground, you'd have to install a pole on each end, go up and back down. So we'd actually be adding poles instead of taking poles out in numbers. So plus the cost for this site would be probably more than the site can handle. When you're doing such a small piece like that, alignment changes, one underground, it's very costly, you know, to the small section of underground. You know, it's thinner this size. So we all agreed, you know, that staff that, you know, this wasn't practical at this location. So we'd like to see you strike that condition. Right. Besides that, I think James has covered everything. We're ready to start. I think you're going to hear that. We're anxious to get moving. As soon as this is approved, hopefully that we just started on the improvement plans and building plans and this thing going. I'm going to let Edmund come up and answer any questions you might have with their buildings, unless you've got any questions.
Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Garcia?
I don't know if it's for you, Max. Do we have a feel for what kind of uses the applicant expects to move into this?
Yeah, we have talked about that, but I think Edmund could probably answer those better than I
Okay.
could. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good evening, my name is Edmund Jacobs. I'm the designer. As we started working on this project, working with the client, we wanted to bring something refreshing, something new to the city. And what you see here is what we decided to bring in. It's basically more of a modern looking building with the steel and glass same time, it's really being warmed with wood towers. So I think it's going to create a unique character along the Mitchell Road corridor. And we feel it's a really a good fit in that area for the town. So it's basically, we have a storefront going all the way up to the ceiling of the walkways. And we have perforated green screen panels that are going to be placed on top of the facade of the parapet. And if you notice, we have vertical aluminum rods, and the intention of those rods is really where the signage would be hanging on those rods. So it's going to be some character of the signage along the facade as well. And we feel it's a good project, good infill, and we'd love to have your support on it. And in terms of what occupancy is going to be there, it's mostly going to be retail, office type occupancies. We do have one building that has a restaurant, almost 3/4 of it as a restaurant. It's basically open to more of a retail and office buildings at this time. So if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer.
You, excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. Does anyone have any questions of Mr. Jacobs?
I have more questions. Just one restaurant? I thought I heard Mr. Paul say two.
On the front, there was future pads. They're more restaurant type pads on the front, but we have a bigger sit-down restaurant in the back. I'm talking about 5,500 square feet.
Yeah, where the, if you can, where Mr. Home is positioned in the curve there, and that's the one that's 5,500 square foot restaurant that's being proposed with a 3,000 square foot retail space. The other two pads right there in the front, right on the west end, will be in the future. That will be under separate entitlements.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Mr. Jacobs.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak on this matter? Good evening, Mrs. Ledbetter.
Good morning or good evening. Renee Ledbetter here for the Ceres Chamber of Commerce, and personally as a commercial realtor. Congratulations to the applicant, his team, because this is a beautiful project and something that I'm very excited about. It's been a long time coming since we've had some new development take place in Ceres, and now with Walmart and the Gateway project, this is going to be a great addition to the Mitchell Road corridor. And it's going to make my job a lot easier because I have people calling me every day looking for space that we just don't have in Ceres. So this is going to be a great project, and I hope to see that you approve it because it's definitely needed for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak on this matter? All right, seeing none, is there anyone on Zoom that'd like to speak on this?
I see no hands raised at this time.
Thank you. Bring it back to the commission for discussion or a motion. Anybody?
Project looks good.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Catchell?
One with that section highlighted that we discussed.
So it's just on page 31, item 4, eliminate Mitchell Road Storm Drain Benefit District. And then on page 33, all of I. So if you are thinking about making the motion, it sounds like you are. Yeah, let me just, there's 3 different actions to be taken this evening. Right, so the approval of the mitigated neg deck, the approval of the vesting tentative parcel map, and the approval of the conditional use permit. So the resolution then is part of the CUP. So let's make this simple.
Yeah, draft resolution 22-16 is the one that would be amended.
Is 6, not 16.
It's 16. I mean, that's the resolution that this is going to affect. So
22-06. Oh, 16.
16.
Okay, I'm looking at the staff report. Am I messing this up? Resolution. So I'm looking at the staff report, item 3, the required action.
That was a typo.
Trying to get me. Okay, look at me, all over it. Okay. So these are the 3 actions, and you may want to take items 1 and 2 together, and we can call the vote. And then item 3, do it separately and make the corrections if that's what you're choosing. Want this?
Good catch. Thank you.
I'm sorry?
I said good catch.
Look at me. I think that's 15. Okay, Ann, did you get that?
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion and that's second. Will clerk please call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Martinez, Commissioner Catchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Del Nero,
Yes.
and Chairperson Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
All right, so now I will accept a motion for the 3rd item.
Section 13.
B4 and 13BI. Yeah.
The Mitchell Road Storm Drain Benefit District.
Got it? Got it? All right, you got it? Ann? All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second? I have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Martinez, Commissioner Catchell,
Yes.
Commissioner Del Nero,
Yes.
and Chairperson Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
All right, thank you very much. I'm all messed up here. I got papers everywhere. We will move on now. There is no new business, no public meetings, no unfinished business, no matters initiated by the planning commission or staff. We'll move on to reports. Do you have anything to report, Mr. Del Nero?
As a matter of fact, no.
Oh, this was your chance. Mr. Ketchum. All right, Mr. Martinez? All right, I have nothing to report. City Attorney, gosh, I forgot about you, Nubia. Are you there, out there in Zoom land?
Hi, this is Scott Miller.
Oh,
I'm
hi, Scott, sorry.
sitting in for Nubia tonight.
Okay,
No report from the city attorney.
thank you. All right, James?
Just a reminder that tomorrow night is our second concerts in the park for the year. So we start at 6 o'clock. Winmore Park.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Chris?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
All right, I'm sorry, help me.
Nothing to report.
Okay. All right. So then we will adjourn the meeting to the next regularly scheduled planning commission meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, July 5th. Happy 4th of July.